take your risers and twist them 180 degrees in the direction you're going to turn. You notice I didn't turn my A's. Those are still up on top, just the tips. Then in that same orientation, I'm going to clip in the one that's closest to it, and then I'm going to come over here, keep them in the same orientation, and then clip in there. Once I'm clipped in, I'm safe. There's nothing that can get tangled up or untwisted or whatever. Then I need to get the brakes in my hands. The best and easiest way to do this is to let my risers dangle in front of me just like this. If they're tight, they twist. I might grab them the wrong way, or it might wrap around, or if it's like this, then I see this one on my right hand side and I pull this, well now I've got the opposite brakes in my hands. Can you imagine how awful that'd be if you're taking off and there's power lines and trees and water and you're like, oh crap, I need to turn, and then you end up turning the opposite direction? That you, yeah, so anyways. So if they're out here, then they're going to be right up top. This gives you a chance to check your trim tabs, and you can go down, pop your brakes off. You want to make sure they go directly to the pulleys. Okay. If you don't see the lines go directly to pulleys, that means they accidentally got wrapped around something at some point, or you grabbed them wrong. Then you walk back and you add a little bit of tension. These need to cross. So you've got some sort of a cross here because I purposely twisted myself up. Where they cross at, right now they're out here, they need to cross at the risers back here. So I want to purposely get those crossed. On my throttle hand, my right hand, I want to pinch these together so I can hold them. Then I stick my thumb up and I bring this, my free hand that I'm going to grab the A's with, I wrap that around my thumb with this hanging down like this, not up here, but hanging down, and I come in and I scoop the A's. Once I have those in my hands, I want to let go of these because I don't need to hold these anymore. This was just to assist to get these in my hands. Once I've got these in my hands, now I can use this to help gather everything up. It's best and preferred to stack it on top of my brake handle because here I've got a really good grip. If it's like this, it's much more likely that these are going to accidentally slide through like that. So it's almost like grabbing a like a gun handle and getting a really good purchase on it. Okay, so now I've got those in my hands. They're symmetrical, they're even. Now I'm ready to go. So I've got my throttle in this hand. I've got free use of it, and nothing's gonna accidentally pinch it. Back in the day, we used to do this, and as you would pull up and you'd get tension, you'd accidentally squeeze the throttle, and then it'd shoot you forward. So that's why we want the throttle free. Okay, so I'm perfectly even with the wing right now. I've got even tension on all these lines. That's good. It hopefully will come up straight, but I've got a little bit of an angle. I've got a weird wind going on off to the side. So I'm kind of at a 50-50, we'll call it, if it's gonna come up straight. I've only got access to one brake. This one's locked out. I can't use this one. This one is connected to that side. So if this side happens to come up first in that 50-50, now it's gonna shoot over this way, and I have zero control except for going sideways. Well, with 70 pounds on my back, it's a lot harder to move sideways quickly like that, especially in higher winds when everything happens really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step towards my throttle on purpose. What that does is that tension is this side. It's going to come up first. I have brake control at the bottom. So I'm purposely inflating that side first, and then I'm going to purposely slow it down as needed to steer it directly over my head. And what this method does gives you 100% success rate in getting the wing up over your head directly. If I don't do it this way, well, I hope it comes up and maybe you blow a lunch. and then maybe you chop your wing up or whatever it might be. From here, I want to have my hands extended all the way. These are all tight. Bend my knees a little bit, stick my butt out, take this hand that's free and bring it up near the pulley. I don't want to automatically add tension. I only apply brake as needed to steer it over my head. And at that point, I'm going to walk back briskly. I'm not going to add A. I'm just going to let the wing rise naturally by itself. And I'm going to be watching it, and I'm going to apply just the right amount of brake pressure as needed to steer it directly over my head. Okay. When I do a reverse, I need to determine if I have enough of wind to be able to keep the wing up over my head with a gentle walk back. If I do, that's my preferred method, is to keep it up there, lock it in, kite it in reverse, make sure everything looks really good, and then I can turn around at my convenience. If I don't have enough of wind to do that and I have to run back to keep it up over my head, or I just know that there's not enough, then as it comes up, I'm gonna let it come up. Here's 0, here's 100. I'm gonna let it come up about 75% of the way, 3/4 of the way up, and I'm gonna turn around. When I turn around, I need to keep my speed consistent. When I turn around, I can't stop and then go again, so it needs to stay consistent. It also needs to stay on that line that I'm moving on. If I move over to the side, I've just offset my wing and shot myself in the foot. So those two keys matter. So 3/4 of the way up, turn around quickly without stopping and stay on the same line, and then I move and I go and everything's gonna be good. Then I can go fly. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This side's gonna come up first. If I happen to see this side come up first, I'm gonna abort. I'm gonna let go of the A's. I'm gonna get on both brakes as needed, layer down, because now all I have to do is grab the A's again and try again, versus it being flipped upside down. Maybe I chopped something up, maybe I fell over, broke my prop. So all of these things prevent other things from happening.
You've already done your power check before you...
Yes, you got it. Oh, and thank you for reminding me of that. Right before I go to take off, I go 90 degrees to my wing. I blast all my crappy air over there where it doesn't matter. If I do this, I'm pushing all that air up this way. Which way is the wind blowing? It's blowing this way. Where is that crappy air going to come back to? Right during my inflation, or as I go and try and take off. But if I do it this way, then I'm good to go. You'll see that at fly-ins and other events where everybody's doing this, and then when they go to take off, you can see their wing get rustled when they're going through it. Okay. All right, here we go. Backwards. If it wants to overshoot me, I apply brake. I'm keeping it up there. Then when I'm ready to bring it down, I add brake. Touches the ground. Then I surge forward.
Wow. That's impressive.
So from here, when I'm practicing it is back on the ground, my A should be up on top. I want to get this brake line out of the way. Pinch these, thumb up, scoop, align, find my center, one step towards my throttle, arms out, knees bent, butt out, hand up here next to the pulley, and then I'm going to watch it and steer it directly over my head. wasn't. So yeah. But I was able to catch it before it came all the way down, spin towards the low side, and I still had a successful layout. So that's the gist of getting it up from reverse. Now if, like I mentioned, you have two methods. Turn around while it's coming up, like I did on those ones, or if you have enough of wind to kite it, now you can just kite it. So I'm going to go ahead and try that one. Getting the A's in my left hand. Good purchase. Find my approximate center point. One good step right. Arm out, knee bent, butt out. Gear directly over my head. Now I'm going to brake check it, take the energy out, and I'm going to walk back slowly. And I'm going to stabilize it. Everything's looking good. Now I can turn around and go.